Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Just a minute. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकाय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपं कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामीति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमो। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नीलाचल निवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्र सुभद्राभ्यां जगन्नाथाय इति नमो नमो महावदन्नाय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरतिसे नमो। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। হরে কৃষ্ণা। প্রথমে সকলকে রামনবমীর অনেক অনেক শুভেচ্ছা। আশা করি আপনারা খুব সুন্দরভাবে আজকে রামনবমী পালন করেছেন। আমাদের আজকে ভক্তি শাস্ত্রীটা খুব ভালো দিনে হচ্ছে। তো এখানে আজকে আমাদের আলোচনায় রামের সম্বন্ধে কিছু বিষয় আসবে, সেখানে আমরা একটু আলোচনা করব রামচন্দ্র সম্বন্ধে। ঠিক আছে, তো আমরা শুরু করছি আমাদের প্রথম আজকে আমাদের অষ্টম অধ্যায়। অষ্টম অধ্যায় আমাদের নাম হচ্ছে অষ্টম অধ্যায় বা 8 চ্যাপ্টার 8। ওকে, আমি বাংলায় বলছি। Today we will discuss on chapter 8. It is the ongoing online Bhagavad Gita on Bhakti Shastri class. So we are at unit 2, and today we will be discussing on chapter 8, the middle section of the Bhagavad Gita. So the chapter entitled as Attaining the Supreme. Okay. So before we start, I will share discuss the link between chapter 6 and 7. Chapter 7 and 8. What is the link with the earlier chapter? That we will discuss, and then we will start discussing so actually in last 2 verses of chapter 7, Krishna has described some technical terminologies while introducing a fourth kind of Shakamo Bhakta, Mokshakami Bhakta. In text 7.29, Krishna introduces that the definition, the he has discussed, he has given a brief idea of Mokshagami Bhakta. And actually, the Acharya just explained that this Mokshagami Bhakta can be uh, Jogo Mishra Bhakta or Jnana Mishra Bhakta, both. So today we will see how uh, the last part of the chapter 7 is connected with this chapter. So that just a minute. Yes. So today I will take little different way of discussing this class. Let's see how it works out. So the connection between chapter 7 and 8. The last two verses of chapter 7, Lord uses six identical terms. Okay, six technical terms. Arjuna asks for clarification of this term and thus asks 8 questions in text 8.1 and 8.2. So first Krishna answered the first 7 questions and then discusses 8th question in detail. The 8th question is actually the basis of the entire chapter. Okay. So let us first go to that chapter. Chapter 7. Yes. Jara Marana Mokshayo. This is in chapter 7. Jara Marana Mokshayo Mama Srito Jatanti Je Te Brahmotad Vidhu Krishnam Adhatma Karma Cha Akhilam. So here, this particular term, Adhatma Karma, Adhatma Karma. This term is, about this term, Arjuna will ask question in the beginning of the chapter 8. Okay. What is the translation? Intelligent persons. So here Adhatmam means transcendental, karma means activities. Adhatmam karma. Intelligent person who are endeavoring for liberation from old age and death take refuge in me in devotional service. They are actually Brahman. They are actually Te Brahma. Here also another word is used. Te Brahma Tad Vidu Krishnam Adhatma Karma Chakra. They actually Brahman. They are actually Brahman because they entirely know everything about transcendental activities. So this was actually Jara Marana Moksha, but their main goal is to rid of get rid of this birth and death. Okay, this cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease. Jara Marana Moksha. Jara means old age, and Marana means death. So that they want. So that means how they take they get moksha by realizing themselves completely Brahma. Brahma means transcendental. When they realize that they are Brahma, they are completely transcendental. At that stage, at that stage, there is no material body, and the material body only undergo birth, old age, and disease. So that was the words that Krishna described about moksha kami bhakti. And in the next verse, and how they can do it, that Krishna explains by knowing me completely. What is the how he what are the things one should know to completely become Brahman? That Krishna is explaining in 7.30. Sha'adhibhuta adhidaivam mam Shadhijokkam taje vidu prayana kale pichamam te vidur jukta chetasha. Those in full consciousness of me know me, the Supreme Lord, to be the governing principle of the material manifestation of the demigods and of all methods of sacrifice, can understand and know me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even at the time of death. So here, two important three important terminology Krishna has used. Sha Adi Bhuta. Sha Adi Bhuta, Prabhupada translated, governing principle of the material manifestation. Adi Daivam, governing all the demigods. Mam, me. Sha Adi Jaggam, and governing all sacrifices. Cha also. J, those who vidu know me. Prayano Kale. This is another important term. Prayano Kale. Those who remember at the time of death, Prayano Kale. So those in full consciousness of me, who know me, the Supreme Lord, to be the governing principle of material manifestation. Governing principle of material manifestation of the demigods, material manifestation of the demigods and of all the methods of sacrifice. So that means those who know Adi Bhuta, Adi Daiva, and Adi Joggo, they can understand me and the Supreme Personality of Godhead even at the time of death. So thus they got moksha. First of all, the verse number 29 is speaking about what they will be doing, what they will be doing during they are in this material world. Okay, first of all, what realization they will have? They will become completely Brahman platform, and they will do adhatma karma. They will do adhatma karma. Okay, and how they will come to Brahman? By knowing Krishna fully. And what is the meaning of knowing Krishna fully? In particular, this verse, Krishna is referring that by knowing me as Adi Bhuta, Adi Daiva, and Adi Jokta. So this is the thing. So now after and Jukta and this by knowing this, they will be always connected to me. Their consciousness will fully focus on Krishna. So by this, they will get the moksha. Okay, so this was discussed last part, the fourth category of Shakamo Bhakta. What are the third category of, what are the three categories of Shakamo Bhakta? Anyone can remember? Can say, what are the three categories of Shakamo Bhakta that we have discussed in last class? They can write in chat. Whoever remember, I will not wait time, because otherwise at the end I need to rush. So if anyone remember, they should write in the chat. I think in the here chat you can write, na? You know how to write in the chat box. I think chats are also there. You can type and write if it's possible. Okay, what are the other kind of Shakamo Bhaktas? Okay, so now Krishna will, now Arjuna will ask after hearing this. So by asking question, Arjuna was confirming what? Arjuna confirming that he has heard properly. He has heard nicely. Tat Srinu. Tasrinu, that was the process given by Krishna in the first verse number 1 of 7 chapter, 7.1. Okay. So that he was confirming that yes, I have heard. Now I have some question at the end, whatever terminologies you have used, I want to know. So today, so from there the chapter is starting. So what today we will do? Today we will read the verse. We will read today. I think our discussion will be from from verse number 1 to verse number 13. Gunibhuta Bhakta. Yes, this also we have discussed. Uh, Gunibhuta Bhakta is also, but this is a terminology we discussed. But in Bhagavad Gita verse, Krishna explains three category of Shakama Bhakta. Verse number 7.16, Krishna refers three category.
আত্মজিজ্ঞাসু অর্থাৎ কি?
Yes, yes. And we can introspect from which platform we have come into this Krishna consciousness. Okay, which category we belong to before when we enter into Krishna consciousness. Okay, you can write that also in the chat. So that's by writing I will also continue my flow, and you can also think and we can interact, because otherwise if I ask you and you interact, so time will go. So I will be giving some question, you should write in the chat, and we will continue the discussion parallelly. Okay, so Arjuna, so today how we will take the flow. First we will recite one verse, this verse, second verse, and the link of the verse, the flow of and the sections, what are the sections are there in this chapter. We will discuss the interconnection of the each and every section and interconnection of the each and every verse. We will complete that. Then we will come to the discussion of particular learning points. What are the learning points are there, that we will discuss. So by that we will end the class in a concise way. We will not go over time, and you are also getting late for wind up your having your dinner, maybe, I don't know. So that's why I want to complete on time, and we can have some question answer session at the end also if you want to ask. So today this will be the flow we will follow. So words we will read from Vedaves, and interconnection we will see from that Shubhodini. Okay, that I have already shared, that Goranga Darshan, Goranga Priyo Prabhu's note. From there we will see the interconnection. Okay. So Arjuna Uvacha Kim Tad Brahma Kim Adhatmam Kim Karma Purushottama Adi Bhutam Cha Kim Praktam Adi Daivam Kim Uchyate. Yes.
Arjuna Uvacha Kim Tad Brahma Kim Adhattam Kim Karma Purushottama
Adibhutam cha kim praktam adidevam kim uchyate.
Thank you. Someone can read the translation.
Arjuna inquired, O my Lord, O Supreme Person, what is Brahman? What is the self? What are creative activities? What is this material manifestation? And what are the demigods? Please explain this to me.
Yes. So actually, when Prabhupada has translated these words, it seems to be that we all know why Arjuna is asking. But Arjuna is asking the terminology. Arjuna is asking what is Brahma, what is Adhatmam, what is Adibhutam, what is Adidaivam. This word Krishna has used in earlier verse, so he wanted to know that. Okay. So now we will go to the next verse. Next verse also. Yes. Adhijaggam katham ko atra dehe ashmin madhusudana prayano kale cha katham prayano kale cha katham geyo oshi nitta atmabhi niyata atmabhi. Yes.
Adhyayajna katham
तं
tadesmin
देहस्मिन्
madhusudana prayandakale cha
प्रयाणकाले च
katham
कथं
ganeshi niyatmabhihe.
Thank you. Translation.
Prabhuji,
Yes.
who is the Lord of sacrifice and how does he live in the body? O Madhusudana. And how can those engaged in devotional service know you are at the time of death?
So this is most important thing. How you can know how someone will know you at the time of death. So Prayanokale, because Krishna uses that word Prayanokale in verse number 7.30. So that was main important at the Prayanokale. So this entire chapter will take based on this question answering. This is the eighth question, seventh question. So this question will be the main central point of the entire chapter. Okay. Okay, so now before moving forward, I will show you the breakup of this section of the entire chapter. So breakup is like this. Section 1, 8.1 to 8.4, Krishna's answer to Arjuna's question. Not only Krishna's answer, Arjuna's question and Krishna's answer. Both the things are there in section 8.1 and 8.4. Section 2 is 8.5 to 8.8. These three verses is regarding the remembering Krishna at the time of death, Prayanokale. Okay, so because here also only we have discussed the among the eight question, the seventh question, the first seven question Krishna will answer, and then eighth question Krishna will answer in detail. So this eighth question is the Prayanokale part. How we can remember you at the time of death? Actually, this is the most important question that we should always remember. Okay, so this we will discuss elaborately. Then next section is remembering Krishna by practicing through meditation. So this section 8, this section third section is 8.9 to 8.13. This is remembering Krishna through Jogo Mishra Bhakti. Jogo Mishra Bhakti. Section that we have already given some hint. What is Jogo Mishra Bhakti? What is Mishra Bhakti? In the Mishra Bhakti, we have discussed two categories of Mishra Bhakti. One is Gunibhuta Bhakti and Pradhanibhuta Bhakti. Okay. I think you are remembering this thing. I will ask you what is Gunibhuta Bhakti, what is Pradhanibhuta Bhakti. You can start typing and also hearing both the things. So text, the fourth section is 8.14 and 8.16. This 14, 15, 16, the three verses Krishna is discussing with the pure devotional service. That is Amistra Bhakti or Amistra or Kevala Bhakti. We have discussed Kevala Bhakti or Ananya Bhakti. This is the first time, not first time, in this chapter, particularly the first Ananya Bhakti has been described in where? Can anyone remember? Where Krishna first introduced the Ananya Bhakti conception. 7.1. Please remember this thing. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna first introduced Ananya Bhakti in 7.1. Then 18.14, Krishna will describe Ananya Bhakti and elaborate in 15-16 by these two words. Okay. And the fifth section is comparing the material and spiritual world or glories of Supreme Abode, and that is also remembering. So everything is remembrance. From here, the remembrance is start. First 8.5 to 8.8, the basic principle of remembrance Krishna will explain that you need to remember. Okay. Then Krishna will explain in 18.9 to 18.13, remembering Krishna by Jogo Mishra Bhakti. Then 18.14 to 18.16, Krishna is telling how to remember Krishna through Ananya Bhakti. And then 18.17 to 18.22, Krishna is explaining comparing material and spiritual world. And 18.23 to 28, Krishna will establish that remembering Krishna through pure devotional service to Bhakti Yoga is easier than Ashtanga Yoga. That is the main theme of this. Supremacy of pure devotion in attaining Krishna. Supremacy in comparison to Ashtanga Yoga. Because the sixth chapter was about Ashtanga Yoga, about Dhyana Yoga. Okay. See, first Karma Yoga has started. Karma Yoga means what? Focusing our action to Krishna. Action is there. Action is directing towards Krishna. Karma. Then our education, our enlightenment, knowledge, Jnana Yoga, directing towards Krishna. So first action, then education, or you can say uh, our intellectual elevation towards Krishna. Then the sixth chapter then was meditation. Our meditation is focusing towards Krishna. Okay. And then the devotion. Finally, the Bhakti Yoga means our devotion, heartfelt devotion towards Krishna. So that is the Ananda Bhakti. Okay. So here in meditation also, in the Dhyana Yoga also, the yogi is meditating on Krishna. But the object is not as clear or as intimate. That meditation is not as intimate as in Bhakti Yoga. So that we will see how it is differentiated in this particular thing, and also in Yoga Mr. Bhakti we will see. Because there the yogi has a aspiration to attain Siddhi and then focusing on Krishna. But in Bhakti or Bhakta yogis does not have that kind of aspiration. Bhakta yogis are always in the mood of only satisfying Krishna. They are not they are not after some any other thing than Krishna. Okay, so that is the difference. So this is the entire flow, and I think things are getting clear how it is connected to with other chapters. Okay, that is the flow. We need to understand as a Bhakti Shastri student. My request to all of you should be to understand the conceptual flow, philosophical flow. And if you want to clarify anything, you can ask me, because in the class timing is little difficult to manage. So you can ask me by WhatsApp after the class anytime if you have any doubt to understand this flow, because this has to be cleared. So now we will go back to the verse and we will see the correlation from verse to verse, and then we will go into the conceptual study of the verse of this section. So today we will cover only the first 1, 2, 3. 3 sections we will cover today. Up to section 3 we will discuss. Okay. So verse number 1 and verse number 2 we have already discussed. Now verse number 3. Verse number 1 we have discussed that word by word meanings, we will come to that. Number 3. This is purport 2. It's okay. The connections are already explained. So here Krishna let us go to the verse number 3. Now Krishna is giving the answer here. Arjuna has asked in verse number 1 and 2. Now Krishna is now answering. Sri Bhagavan Vacha Aksharam Brahma Paramam Shabhav Adhatma Uchate Bhut Bhav Udbhava Karo Visharga Karma Sangita.
Shri Bhagavan Vacha
Bhagavan Uvacha
Paramam Swabhavodyatmam Uchate Bhuta Bhavudbhavo Karo Visharga Karma Samajnita.
Yes, translation.
Reading Prabhuji.
Yes.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, the indestructible, transcendental living entity is called Brahman, and his eternal nature is called Adhyatma, the self. Action pertaining to the development of the material bodies of the living entities is called karma, or fruitive action, activity.
So here, yes, thank you. So here Krishna is giving the answer about what is karma, what is Adhatma, and what is Brahman. So the indestructible, transcendental living entity is called Brahma. Okay. And his eternal nature is called Adhatma, the self. Action pertaining to the development of the material body of the living entity is called karma, or fruitive activities. So 3 the answer for three questions. That is, what is Brahman, what is Adhatma, and what is Karma. Krishna is defining very clearly. Okay, so in the next verse, Krishna will describe, will give another two answer. Adi Adibhutam kharo bhava purushascha adidaivatam adijagahame dehe dehe deho bhritambara.
आदिभूतं
विभूतं
खरो
शरो
भव
भावः
पुरुषश्चादिदैवतम्
पुरुषश्चाधिदैवतम्
आदिदेवतरा
आदिदेवमहमेवत्र देहे
देह
देहाभृतं वर।
देहभृतमरा.
Translation.
O best of the embodied beings, the physical nature which is constantly changing is called Adibhuta, the material manifestation. The universal form of the Lord, which includes all the demigods like those of the sun and moon, is called Adidaiva. And I, the Supreme Lord, represented as the Super Soul in the heart of every embodied being, am called Adi Yagna, the Lord of Sacrifice.
So here Krishna is giving the definition of Adi Bhutam. Adi Bhutam means what? The ever-changing physical nature. Okay. The so ever-changing physical nature, that is the material manifestation. That is called Adi Bhutam. And the universal form of the Lord, which includes all demigod, like those of the sun and moon, is called Adi Daiva. And Adi Joggo is the supreme Lord represented as the super soul in the heart of every body, every embodied being. Embodied being is called the Adi Joggo, the Lord of sacrifice. Whoever in the material world is there, inside that material body, this Adi Joggo, the Adi Joggo, as in the form of super soul, is always present. So that is called Adi Joggo. And yes, so till now, whatever the answer we have got in the verse number 8.2, we got three answers, and here also we got how many answer? Adi Bhutam, Adi Daivam,
Three
Adi
answers.
Jokko, three. So earlier also three. Earlier we have got Brahman, Adhatma, and Karma, and here also three. So three, six. Total 8 questions are there. So now move to the. So okay. So but I don't know. Prayano Kale, how many questions has been asked by Arjuna? I'm getting confused. It was 8 or 7. Out of 7, seven. Okay. Okay. Not an issue. So now this total 6 question answer already we have got. Okay. Now
8 questions are there, Prabhu.
8 questions are there. Among that we have got 6 questions answer. Okay. So here the 8th question is how to remember at the time of death. Brahman, Adhatma, Karma, Adibhuta, Adidaiva, Adijagga. That's what I am asking. Brahman, Adhatma, Karma. These three has been answered in the first third verse. Adibhuta, Adidaiva, Adi Joggo. Acha, where does Adi Joggo reside? In the heart of all. So that also Krishna has given answer in this verse. See here, let us go to that verse. Yes. Where they reside. Arjuna's question was also there. So he reside inside the embodied soul. So these were the 7. So here actually 4 question has been answered. And in the verse number 3, 3 question has been answered. Okay. So these are the. So now 8th question Krishna will answer in the next section. This part actually little technical, not very important from our Bhakti Shastri point of view also. Just as a knowledge we will understand as information. And it will not come later on also. Just terminologies, but we will discuss a little bit. This will already we have discussed. 8.5. Now here Krishna is telling, giving the answer of the eighth question, how to remember regarding the remembering Krishna at the time of death, prayana kali. Antukale cha mame va smarana mukta kalevaram japrayati samadbhavam yati nastatra samshaya.
अन्तकाले च मां
कालचममेव स्मरन्मुक्त्या कलेवरं
या प्रयासमद्भावं
प्रलयति समद्भावं यति नस्ति
यतिनस्य
अत्र
संशयः
संशयः.
Nastri samshaya. Translation.
and
and
whoever
who
Please continue.
and whoever at the end of his life quits his body, remembering me alone at once, attains by nature. And of this there is no doubt.
So these very important words, and I think this is there in the words of in the list of the words which you need to remember. As a when a sloka recitation test will be there, so I think this verse is also there.
yes, which is in our memory sloka.
But you should remember, even though it is not, if it is not listed, also it is a very important verse, and this is the foundational verse for practicing Krishna consciousness. Okay, so here Krishna is telling that that at the time of death, what you need to remember? What if you remember Smarana Mukta Kalevaram Japrati Samad Bhavam Antakara. If you remember me, you will get to my bhava, my nature, mat bhavam. So we'll discuss more about what is this bhavam. Okay. So you will get out of this kalevar. Kalevar means this material body, and we will come to my bhava. So this is my bhava, mat bhavam is very important word, and we will discuss that. And here Krishna is telling that in general, what will happen if you remember anything else. Yam yam vapi smarana bhavam tachatante kalevaram tam tameva iti kunteyo satatat bhava bhavita.
यं यं वापि स्मरन्
वापीस्वरं भावं त्यजति अन्ते कलेवरं तं तं एवति कौन्तेय सदा तद्भावभाविता.
Yes. Translation.
Reading Prabhuji. Whatever state of being one remembers he when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, the state he will attain without fail.
So this is important. This is also very important. Whatever state he will remember. So he will get that state. So now Krishna will say, now the question may come that how can we remember? We don't know what is when the Purana Kal will come. Now Purana Kal come at any time. But are we always remembering Krishna? Because we have to do so many things to maintain our body, to maintain our families, we have so many duties, material duties. So how we can remember even while performing duties? That is the challenge. So Krishna is telling, because Arjuna, this knowledge has been given to Arjuna in the battlefield of Kurukshetra when Arjuna was about to fight. So the question may come: you are telling him to fight me, and also you are telling to remember you. So how these two things can be done simultaneously? So Krishna is giving this verse. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam manushparajutthayascha maya arpita mano buddhir mame vaishashiya samshaya.
तस्मात्
तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु मम अनुस्मरयुध्य च मे अर्पितमनो बुद्धिर्मम एव शशि संशयः.
Yes. Translation.
Therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna and at the same time carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. With your activities dedicated to me and your mind and intention fixed on me, you will attain me without doubt.
Yes. So we need to fix our mind on Krishna, on Mana and Buddhi. We have to keep our mind, Mana and Buddhi. huh? And simultaneously, I think some background sound is coming from somewhere.
शतरूपा माताजी.
So, so we have to, this is very important thing, that we have to fix our mind and intelligence to Krishna, and we have to render our duties also. So we need to remember Krishna, whatever activities we are doing throughout the day. At that time, we have to discharge those duties, but keeping our mind and intelligence. Mana buddhi arpita. Man and buddhi should be fixed on Krishna. So this is Madgatena Antara Atmana, which Krishna has told in 6.47. Madgatena Antara Atmana. So Antaratmana should be fixed in Krishna. So that is the main thing. Krishna does not say that okay, you stop everything and only do Hare Krishna chanting throughout the day. That is not possible. Like Haridas Thakur, and even Haridas Thakur was also preaching. So we need to discharge, and Arjuna has to fight. So that's why Krishna is telling that okay, you fight. Mam Anushmara Juddha. Anushmara. So this is important. You have to always think of me, and you have to fight. Mamunushmara. So the challenge that we are always facing, sometimes we always ask this question, that we have to do this thing, we have to take care of our children, we have to go to the job, we have to cook for the family, we have to go to the marketplace, we have to go take care of many things. Yes, those things Krishna never tells that you stop everything and just worship me. No, that is also not possible for us. So we have to do both the things. So this is very, very important instruction that Krishna is giving in this particular verse. Okay. So yes. Yes. So now verse number 8. Okay, so now one question may ask that, okay, you are telling me to do this thing, but is it possible? How to do this? So for that, Krishna knows that it's not easily. This is not very easy thing to do. So that's why Krishna is telling in 8.8, Abhyasa yoga jukte no chetasana annagamina paramam purusham dibbam jati partha anuchintayan.
अभ्यासयोगयुक्तेन चेतसा नन्यगामिना परमं पुरुषं दिव्यं यति पार्थनुचिन्तयन्.
Thank you. Translation.
Reading from He who meditates on me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his mind constantly engaged in remembering me, undeviated from the path, he, O Partha, is sure to reach me.
Yes, thank you. So here very important thing is Abhyasa yoga jukte. No? This Abhyasa yoga means this sadhana bhakti. We have to practice. It will not happen overnight. Okay? Because as a sadhaka stage, our mind will go to Unna. It will go to somewhere else other than Krishna. Chetasha Nanagamina. But we have to again bring it back. Bring it back. When we are chanting every day, we have this experience. We are sitting for chanting. We start chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. What we are supposed to do while we are chanting? We are chanting means while chanting we have to chant and hear the each and every transcendental sound vibration with absorption. But many a times mind goes here and there. So that is an offensive chanting. Mind goes here and there. So is this now my question is mind going and here is offensive chanting? Yes or no? Whoever saying yes should write yes. Whoever says no should write no. I will give the answer later on. Think. Because here Krishna is telling Chetasana Annagamina. The mind should not go, Chetana should not go anywhere. So Abhishek Singh said it is yes. It is an
Hare
offense.
Krishna.
Mind
Sometimes
anywhere
it,
it is an offense. Rajiv Chaudhary says no, it is not an offense. So mind going while chanting, mind going anywhere is not an offense. Okay. Shavankar Datta says yes. Okay. I will come to this answer. Let's see. Says yes. So most of you are telling that mind going somewhere else other than Krishna is offensive during chanting. Yes. Let's see. Sometimes it happens. Yeah, good. Sometimes it happens. For me, it is always happening. That is good. You are at a good stage. Yes, it is offensive. Okay. So, Chetasananugamina Paramam Purusham Dibbam Yati Partha Anuchintayan. Anuchintayan. Chintayan to Anuchintayan. Constantly thinking. Chintayan. Chintan means contemplating on Krishna. Anuchintan means always contemplating on Chintan. So this is how we can remember Krishna. We have to practice. So first Krishna said you have to remember Antukale Chamame Bhushanam. Then you say that if you don't remember me, anyone else, you will get that destination. So transmigration, general principle of transmigration, Krishna described in 8.6. And then Krishna says how to remember him always. You have to remember Krishna while discharging your duty. You have to material duty. You have to remember me. And the question comes, how to come to that? By Upasha Yoga, by habit. You have to habit. Upasha means habit. Forming. You have to forming a habit. So if you form a habit, initially it will not happen. To form a habit. This Hare Krishna Mahamantra is Abhash. We are doing every day. Abhash, so that we can always think throughout the day Krishna. So Hare Krishna Mahamantra chanting, doing Mangal Arati. So we'll discuss a little bit about this. Okay, so remembering of Krishna. Krishna is telling. So next verse is 8.9. So from here we are moving towards I think another section altogether. Yes, 8 up to 8.5 to 8.9. Remembering at the time of death. Remembering Krishna at the time of death, Krishna is described, and then Krishna will now describe from 8.9 to 8.13, remembering Krishna through meditation. Okay, so now this Yoga Mishra Bhakti will be described by Krishna. So now, Abhyas. Now Abhyas is Yoga Yukta, Abhyas is there. Now in the Abhyas, what kind of Abhyas? So this Yoga practice is another kind of Abhyas. Okay, but as a bhakta, particularly in this Kali Yuga, the sadhak bhaktas cannot do this kind of yoga. So what they are doing while they are doing the yoga? So this particular verse is applicable for both bhakti yogi and ashtanga yogi. Okay. This is on how what we should think of Krishna. Sometimes you think of Krishna means what to think. What to think of Krishna. Okay. Particularly, this is from mostly from ashtanga yogis, but for us also we can also take some note of it. Kavim Puranam Manusashitaram Anor Oniyangsham, yes, Guna and Lila is important. Anor Oniyangsham Anushmaredja Sarvasya Dhataram Achinta Rupam Aditya Varnam Tamasho Parastat.
कविपुराणमनुशासितारम् अनूरनीयांसम् अनुस्मरेद्य सर्वस्य धातारम् अचिन्त्य रूपम् आदित्यवर्णं तमसः
Thank you. Thank you. Translation.
One should meditate upon the Supreme Person as the one who knows everything, as He who is the oldest, who is the controller, who is smaller than the smallest, who is the maintainer of everything, who is beyond all material conception, who is inconceivable, who is always a person. He is luminous like the sun, and he is transcendental beyond this material
Yes.
nature.
Thank you. So this is the contemplation that one need to do. The process of thinking of Supreme Lord is mentioned in this verse. Okay. Yes. So now here the particular process. This process has been already described in elaborately in chapter 6. Okay. where the Dhyana Yoga process has been described. But here, particularly, how, what need to be done at the time of death. There, the yogis, particularly the discussion was that ki yogis were practicing Dhyana Yoga. That practice was described, how the process was there. Puttaharo, first this yoga, this all the Ashtango, the process, eightfold processes are described up to Samadhi. Okay, pranayam, uttahar, dhyan, uh, then this kind of six processes, the eight processes are there. Here, particularly the things Krishna is now focusing that how a perfect yogi while leaving the body, what are the things they should do? And here Krishna will going to describe a particular kind of yoga which is called Shatachakra yoga. Prabhupada will explain here in the purport. Okay, Shatchakra yoga. So this process is they are described here. प्रयाणकाले मनुषाचलेन भक्त्वा युक्तयोगबलेन चैव भ्रूर्मध्ये प्राणम् आवेश्य सम्यक् शतं परं पुरुषम् उपैति दिव्यम्.
प्रयाणकाले मनसचलेन भक्त्या युक्तयोगबलेन चैव भ्रुवोर्मध्ये प्राणाम् अवेश्य सम्यक् सतं पारं पुरुषम् उपैति दिव्यम्.
Thank you. Translation.
Portuguese.
Thank you.
Translation: one who, at the time of death, fixes his life air between the eyebrows and, by the strength of the yoga, with an undeviated mind, engages himself in remembering the Supreme Lord in full devotion, which certainly attain to the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. So this is a process, particular process, and here you will see Krishna is telling in third person. Okay. Shatam param purusham upaiti dibbam. Here mam word is not there. Prayano kale manusha chalena bhakto yukto yoga balena chaiva bhur madhye pranamavesya sammak shatam param purusham upaiti dibbam. He is even Purusha. Param Purusha is standing in front of Krishna. Arjuna can say, but when Krishna can say in that way, but Krishna is not saying. That means the yogis particularly, they don't accept or they don't know in fully that Krishna is himself is the Param Purusha. They have some different kind of understanding. Different kind of understanding means that understanding is like all pervading personality, all pervading. So that kind of things are there with the yogi, because they are focusing mainly on Paramatma, which is all pervading. That all pervading Paramatma, Andantarastha Paramanuchayantarastha. Each and every atom, within the atom, in between the atom, there is Krishna. Anuraniyam Mohita Mohayan. So greater than the greatest, smaller than the smallest. This kind of concept is there. Now Krishna is just a twofold, is a cowherd boy, is a Murlidhar, is a blue complexion boy who is playing on the lap of Mother Jashoda, is a son of Nandu Maharaj. These kind of things, Jogi cannot fully appreciate. That's why Krishna is differentiating here in third person. 11. Jad aksharam vedo vido vadanti vishanti yad yatato vitaragaha yad ichchanta brahmacharjam charanti tatte padam sangrahena pravakshe.
Jadaksharam
यदक्षरं वेदो वेदा भवन्ति विशन्ति यद् यततो वितराग यद् इच्छन्तो ब्रह्मचार्यं चरन्ति तत्ते पदं सङ्ग्रहेण प्रवक्ष्यश.
Translation.
person
Persons who are learned in the Vedas, who utter Omkara and who are great sages in the renounced order, enter into Brahman. Desiring such perfection, one practices celibacy. I shall now briefly explain to you this process by which one may attain salvation.
Yes. So here in the verse number 10, Krishna says that how they should bring their consciousness, their pran, by Shat Chakra yoga, and have to focus, and then they can go out, they can leave their material body and transfer them to spiritual world. So that process has been described. Now, who can practice this? The here Krishna is telling the qualification of the practitioner. What he will be doing. He should be a brahmachari. He should be pronouncing Veda or the Omkara, those things. He should prepare like that way. They can do. So, particularly this yogi, Ashtanga yogis in the Ashtanga yoga, school of Ashtanga yoga, the brahmacharya, only the brahmacharyas are allowed. Only for particularly in Jnana yogi and Ashtanga yogi, in this particular school, brahmacharis are only allowed. Grihasthas are not actually allowed. Only in Bhakti yoga, grihasthas are allowed. Okay, so Bhakti yoga is so strong. So here, Krishna will now recommend now about the process. Krishna will now already this has been described in sixth chapter, but here also Krishna is briefing and again. Verse number 12. Sharvadarani sangjambo manoridhi niruddhaya cha murdhanna adhatma mano pranam asthito jagodharanam.
सर्वध्वराणि संयम्य मनोहृदि निरुध्य च मूर्धनि अध्यात्मनः परम् असितो योगधारणम्.
Translation.
The yogic situation is that of detachment from all sensual engagements, closing all the doors of the senses and fixing the mind on the heart and the live air at the top of the head. One establishes himself in yoga.
Yes, so here particularly the Pratyahara process. Prabhupada is telling this practice is called Pratyahara. So this is the one stage of Ashtanga Yoga. So that Krishna is telling. So basically Krishna is telling that sense restraint. Okay. Sarvadharani Sangjata. So this is very important part of the yogas. Now there are various in the Western country there are so-called yoga schools are there, but in the name of yoga school that is particularly a bhoga school. Therefore they are doing yoga so that they can enjoy more materially. So that is actually Prabhupada said is good for nothing. But okay, yes, uh, for the bodily fitness, even the devotees also can practice some yoga. Many devotees are practicing yoga. That is okay. But our main goal, our practice of yoga, is should be so that we can keep our body fit and fine, so that we can use our body in the service of Krishna. Okay, we can chant for long rounds. We can chant. We can sit at one place nicely, comfortably, and we can chant many rounds. We can hear Krishna Katha. We can discuss Krishna Katha for a long time. So for that, we should keep our body fit and fine. For that, sometimes yoga practice is there, but so-called yoga studios are there, so they are actually promoting, they are taking this yoga word, the conception of yoga from this Vedic literature, but they completely don't know what is the main principle. Devotees are also, particularly the bhakta yogis, we are also practicing some sense restraint. We are practicing sense restraint in a regulated way, but in particular the yoga school, this Ashtanga yoga, they expect, their demand is that he should be fully sense should be sense control, should be brahmacharya. So that is the point. Otherwise this process will not work, particularly the process for which they are getting ready, and how they are uh, they will leave their body uh, and get salvation, get liberation. So that is the success of yoga finally. Okay, that will not happen if this kind of yoga, and we are practicing yoga, that is also not for getting salvation in this way. Our process is will be described later on, that remembering Krishna by discharging devotional service. Okay. So the yes, 8.13. So here another step will be described. Om iti ekaksharam brahma baharan mam manusmaran yaprayati tajandeham shayati paramam gatim.
Om iti ekaksharam brahma व्याहरन् मम अनुस्मरन् यः प्रयाति त्वजं देहं सायति परमं गतिम्.
Yes. Translation.
Translation. Ucha. After being situated in this yoga practice and the vibrating the sacred syllable Om, the supreme combination of letters, if one thinks of the supreme personality of Godhead and quits his body, he will certainly reach the spiritual planets.
Yes. So here Prabhupada will say that particularly this Yogamista Bhakta will go to Vaikuntha. Okay. And here in this word, and for that, for reaching Vaikuntha, here Krishna is telling Mamunushma. Here what has been used Mam. So, and this Mam is actually giving the bhakti element with the yoga. Okay, the yogic practice. Otherwise, only yogic practice will lead them to Brahman, effulgence, not beyond that. Okay. But if they remember Mam, then there is a possibility that they will. That is not possibility. Krishna's word is true, absolutely true. So they will get, if they perfect their remembrance towards Krishna by this process, they will obviously attain the supreme planet, Paramam Gati. They will attain this. So here we are ending our today's verse. Our discussion will be limited up to this verse only. So now we will go back to actually this I cannot. I don't know, present something here. Stop share. So now we will discuss from the verse number 1. Basically, verse number 1 and 1 to 4, we have already discussed. We have seen some description of some terminology has been given. That is Brahma, Adhatma, all that things. In this particular thing, one important thing is Yoga. And many things has been described in the purport of Srila Prabhupada has described many things. So we will see how those things are actually related. So that we will discuss a little bit. Yes, now I can close it actually. Yes. So here Arjuna has asked this question. O my Lord, O Supreme Person, what is Brahman, what is the self, what are the fruitive activities, what is the material manifestation, and what are the demigods? Please explain this to me. So, in this chapter, Krishna answers different questions from Arjuna. And here, Krishna has been addressed as Purushottam. Purushottam means the best among the men. So, he is the best person to answer our queries. So Prabhupada has many times explained that we take the authority of Krishna. We don't take some mundane authority and we don't take the knowledge from the mundane authority and which can change after some time. Okay, so our authority is Krishna, and Krishna's this statement is always true. It is eternally true. So that's why we will get the perfect knowledge. So that is the point of Purushottam. If we want to get perfect knowledge, we have to take knowledge from Purushottam. Then we will undoubtedly get the perfect knowledge. So actually in Srimad Bhagavatam, this explains that the supreme absolute truth is known as Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan. But here actually Krishna is telling that in addition the living entity, the individual soul is also called Brahman. Arjuna also inquires about Atma, which refers to body, mind and soul. So according to the Vedic dictionary, Atma refers to both mind, soul, body and senses. Okay, this we have seen in the chapter 6. There also Krishna says this thing. He has used the word Atma in the sense of mind, in the sense of senses. So like that, like we say that word in Bengali, there is a word called in Bengali and in Sanskrit, Atmaha. There Atmaha or Atmahotta. Atmahotta means what? Atma means the body. They are distracting the body. So in that sense, the Atma body. So there are various terminologies are there. And as this Bhagavad Gita is a summary study of the entire Vedic knowledge, so some Vedic terminology Krishna has used in his explanation earlier verses. So and Arjuna is asking in that context. So no need to go much deep into this because the acharyas have given various other explanation, but we will follow in this Bhakti Shastri study the Prabhupada version, whatever Prabhupada has given. So here, very interestingly, karma has been described. It is very interesting karma. So Krishna will explain the answer of the karma. So here Arjuna is asking about three things: Brahma, Adhyatma, and Adhidaivam and karma. Four things: karma, Adibhuta, and Adidaivam and Adhyatma. So all these four things. What are the things Arjuna is asking? Brahman, self, fruitive activities, and material manifestation, and demigod. So next question was about Adi Jog. Here Arjuna has addressed Krishna as Madhusudana. Madhusudana. So each and every address that what Arjuna was making has a significance, and Prabhupada was explaining that significance. The Lord of Sacrifice may refer to either Indra or Vishnu. So this is also another information Prabhupada is giving, because Indra is the primeval demigod and Vishnu is the primeval. He's a there are most important demigod. He's the chief of the demigods. Okay, and Vishnu is the chief of the primeval demigod. Okay, Vishnu is the chief of the primeval demigod. So now someone ask me a question: Vishnu is demigod? No, actually he's not a demigod in that sense, but Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwar is a primeval demigod. Okay, primal demigods, in that sense. Okay, including Brahma and Shiva. And Indra is the chief of the administrative demigods. Okay, but Vishnu is Vishnu Datta. Vishnu is in Vishnu Datta is a completely transcendental. Shiva Virinchi Nutam, he is supreme personality. But here, just to understand these things, Vishnu Prabhupada is given this explanation. Both Indra and Vishnu are worshipped by Jagga performance. Okay, but here, that's why I told in earlier classes, what is the Jogga? Jogga is something divine direction, divine objective. So the Karma Jogi, that Joggathat Karma, in that Jogga means primarily means Krishna mean Vishnu. Okay, but the person who is performing the Jogga, he does not have, because he has some karmic inclination. Okay, so that's why it is a Karma Yoga, means that a Karma Mishra Yoga, Karma Mishra Bhakti. Okay, so Here the joggo can be different types of joggos are there. Okay. So that's why Arjuna is asking, what do you mean by Adi Joggo? Okay. And he is addressing him as a Madhusudana, who has killed the demon Madhu. Actually, these questions which were any doubt, any question that is coming is like a demon. Okay. Question means it is that question, that demon is, if it is there, if it is not killed, then our faith, our submission, our obedience to Krishna, or to the Vedic literature, to the Vedic injunction, to the Vedic instruction may be reduced or may slacken. So any doubt if we have, we should clarify it, because that doubt will act as a demon and can kill our pristine Krishna consciousness. Okay, so that's why we should ask the question and clarify it. And later here the words Puranakal in this verse is very significant, because whatever we do in life will be tested at the time of death. Prabhupada many times used to say that bhajan karo sadhan karo morte janle. This is a very commonly used Bengali proverbs in Prabhupada's many of the lecture. If you hear any English lecture, if you hear any 5 lecture of Prabhupada, at least 1 or 2 lecture you will hear this thing. Bhajan karo sadhan karo morte janle hai. This is a Bengali proverb, but Prabhupada has used this thing as very significantly to make us understand that whatever bhajan sadhan we are doing in this lifetime will be tested finally at the time of our death. So that's why the Purana Kali is very significant, this term particularly. So this particular answer, Arjuna is very anxious to know those who are constantly engaged in Krishna consciousness. And actually, this is the you can say the central question of Parikshit Maharaj also in Srimad Bhagavatam. A person who is going to die, what he should do. That was the starting point of Bhagavatam even. So this conception to getting ready, how to leave our body, how to prepare for the death is very important. I think those who have attended the recent Vishwa Bangla, that Vaishnav Shanga festival, there His Holiness Bhakti Purushottam Sai Maharaj was telling about this particular chapter, that this particular chapter in Bengali or in Sanskrit is called as Akhar Brahmajog. And Maharaj was telling that I think the name can be given also as Mananjog. How we can prepare for the death, Mrittu. Many times we don't discuss this topic about Mrittu, but this entire chapter is about Mrittu only. Prayanakal. So this Mrittu is inevitable. Maharaj was telling very wonderfully that about Mrittu there is no debate. You will not find any debate on Mrittu, whether there will be Mrittu. The 100% assurance is there that Mrittu will happen. So we need to understand that this is a very important topic, and our entire practice is actually to get ready during the time of death. So what should be their position at the time of final moment? So here Krishna is asking this thing, and here Maharaj Kuloshekar's prayers is there. My dear Lord, Kuloshekhar was telling, my dear Lord, just now I am quite healthy, and it is better that I die immediately, so that my mind can seek entrance at the stem of your lotus feet. I don't want to wait, because at the time of death, there will be many bodily disturbances. Okay. Maharaj was telling that at the time of death, the situation will be very difficult. The mucus can choke our voice, and we may not, but we don't know. And at that time, at the time of death, there is very high fever happens. So it is very difficult at that time. Sometimes when we in our normal situation, when we sometimes feel feverish, when we have a high fever, we feel so disturbed, and at that time we don't want to chant, we don't want to do anything, we just want to lie down, we just want to switch off the room, everything, just want to lie down, and at that time we see how far we can remember Krishna. Maybe the 100 Fahrenheit, 100 degree Fahrenheit, 100, 200, 3 degree Fahrenheit, we become so weak and we so exhausted. And at the time of death, the body temperature will goes. I think I have heard somewhere it is beyond 107 degree Fahrenheit, 100 I don't know 105 7. It's very high fever happens actually. So at that time, it is very difficult. But there is assurance. We will see. There is assurance. Lord, if we discharge our devotional service very nicely, whenever we are fit and fine, so Krishna will help us to remember Him. Without Krishna's help, we cannot remember. Particularly Bhakta Yogis, Bhaktos are only dependent on Bhakta Vatsal Bhagavan. They are only dependent. But here, the yogis, we will see the later course of discussion, they are more into perfecting the process. They are dependent on particular process, yogic process, to perfectly living their body with the remembrance of Krishna. They are particularly following a process, and Krishna is explaining for the yoga what is the process. But bhaktas, in the bhaktas case, it is not like that. So that is the important thing we need to understand. So in verse 3, Krishna is giving these definitions, the answer. Verse 3 and 4, that what is so let us see these answers. We can see from the Shubhodini also. This is a tabular format. Nice answers. Yes. So understanding Krishna through proper inquiry is a common theme. The Krishna, this inquiry, Arjuna has done this inquiry, and Krishna is answering. The question answer is there. So that we need to understand very clearly. Okay, the Brahman means indestructible living entity. Adhatma means controller of the body. So spirit, soul, the living entity is called Brahman here. Prabhupada has clarified. Adhatma means the Shabhava. Adhatma is a nature. So nature is Adhatma. What is the nature? That is the self, spiritual nature. Okay, eternal nature is the self. That is Adhatma nature. Okay, which is the self, the spirit soul is the self. So that is the spiritual nature. The spirit soul, indestructible living entity, has a spiritual nature. That nature is called Atma. And the karma, the activity which generates a material body for the living entity. So generates a material, the karma, fruitive activity. Karma means fruitive activity. Which activity will generate material body? I am doing some activity. If that activity is going to generate a material body, then that is a fruitive activity. But if that activity is generating a spiritual body, that is a akarma. I think this we have already discussed in first section. So here Krishna is giving the definition for the karma, normal karma, fruitive activities. Adibhuta is a material manifestation, constantly changing physical world. This physical world is called Adibhuta. That's called Adibhuta. Adidaiva means a supreme demigod, universal form, which includes all demigods, and their different planets. So we have discussed earlier that there are three primary conceptions we always try to understand. That is Jiva, Jagata, and Jagadishwar. So that thing is also here discussed, and also in particularly in Bhagavad Gita, another two topics are also discussed: karma and time factor. So time will come later on. Karma here is discussed. What is karma? Earlier also karma has been described in great detail. Here also again the karma has been explained, because the word karma in particularly 7.29 Krishna has used in a different way. Adhatma karma. So it is a different way. Adhatta karma akhilatma. So adhatma karma means spiritual activity. By doing spiritual activity, that is the devotional service. So Adidaiva is demigod, the universal forms, which includes all the demigods and the divine planets. Adijagga is the enjoyer of the sacrifice, Paramatma in every embodied being, and Krishna himself is telling that he is Adijagga. His another planetary expansion is Adijagga. Where does Adijagga reside? In the heart of all. Okay. Here if we see the verse number 3. Verse number 3. And not verse number 3, in verse number 4, Krishna has told, Adi Bhutam Kharo Bhava Purushascha Adi Daivam Adi Jakka Aham Evatra Dehe Deho Vritambara. Dehe deho vitambara. That means here, uh, evatra. Here, Krishna Prabhupada has translated that I, the Supreme Lord, represented as a super soul in the heart of every embodied being, I'm called Adichokra. At the heart, in the heart. Actually, in later verse, Krishna will clearly say, as a super soul, I stay in the heart. Sarvasya chaham ridishannivushta. That verse will come in chapter 15. Here, exactly, not specifically mentioned, he is saying that Adi Jokko aham evatra dehe deho vritambara. Actually, there might be some living entity. For them, the heart may not be specifically there, like for the trees. For the trees, or some say amoeba, they don't have a particular organ called heart in that sense, how we human being and other developed living creatures have. But that does not mean that Krishna is not there or heart is not there. It is a heartless living entity, so Krishna is also not there. No, not like that. So actually, heart means the central region. So at the central region, Krishna is there, and the spirit soul is also there with. So that is the point we need to understand. Okay. So I am called Adi Jokko. So that is Krishna is explaining here in verse number 4. So regarding this, particularly verse number 4, let us come to so Atma Purushattam. We already discussed about this Madhusudana, about this Purana critical thing. 8.3 material consciousness and spiritual consciousness. So Prabhupada has given a very wonderful purport. You can read. A living entity is called marginal. That's why they are self. They are Brahman, but they are marginal. Marginal means they are khara. Marginal means they are tatastha. Tatastha means they can come to spiritual enlightenment. Also can go to material engagement. So both things are. So what happens when the living entity identifies the matter? They will roam around within the matter. Uh, so this is the basis of transmigration. So karma is the basis of transmigration. Karma, by doing karma, we are transmigrating from one material body, one material situation to another material situation. Okay, and elevation to heaven can be done by doing yoga, the Vedic sacrificial process. So this has been described. Supreme Lord is Achyuta. Many things Krishna in the purport they are doing. Now the Prabhupada will explain some specific technical things about the sacrificial process, which may be difficult to understand. So we will try to understand from this particular chart. Okay. So in context, in reference to Chandaka Upanishad, this has been described. 5 kinds of offering, Panchagni Vidya, and 5 kinds of sacrificial fire. Okay, so these things Prabhupada will explain, but the correlation we need to understand from this. So there is the faith. Faith is there. From the faith, based on the faith, we follow some Vedic injunction and will do some yoga and can be attained heavenly planets. Okay, and these heavenly planets, among the heavenly planets, there is moon, enjoyer of the moon. We can go to the moon also. And from the yoga, the cloud also form. I think this also has been explained in the Karma Yoga section. From the cloud, the rain comes, and the rain is acting as a nourishing for the earth. So nourishment is also a yoga. Okay, by the rain, the earth becomes the yoga khetra, and the rain happens. Okay, and from the earth we get the grains. Okay, and that grains is taken by the man. But this honoring of the prasadam is also a yoga, because this grain is a product of yoga. We are getting that grain, and man is getting nourished, and from that man, the semen is also there, is formed from the food. Okay, and in that grain, actually, through the cloud, the living entities are entered into the grain, and by eating the grain, the man in the man's semen, the living entity also enter into the man's semen, and from that man's semen, the woman is impregnated. So this is the So this is also a form of yoga, because Krishna earlier explained that dharma aviruddha kama osmi bharatarisha. So this procreation can be yoga if it is done according to the religious principle. So this is everything is a yoga. So the procreation. So here the entire material, here see, here the jiva is there. See, in this particular arrangement, what Krishna is trying to explain through this kind of verses, why these things are important to understand. That, see, the entire things are here you see Adi Jogga is there, Adi Bhuta is there, Adi Daiva is there, Karma is there, huh? Adhatma is there. Everything is integrated. The entire concept of material manifestation, material energy is there. Spiritual, the spirit souls are there. Living entities are there. So they are getting in the uh, in a jug. This joggo, is a basis of Vedic culture, where the divine nature is invoked. The divinity is worshipped. Divinity is always everything. Whatever the activities material now, everything is now also it's happening, but the divine introspection or divine vision is missing. And now people are saying that they have gone to moon also. I don't know. We don't know whether they have gone to moon, or Prabhupada never accepted that thing, because accessing moon is very, very difficult. So, but they are trying to mechanically enter into that realm. So this divine process is ignored. Now also cloud is there, rain is there, procreation is happening. People are taking grains also, but the divinity is missing. So Vedic culture is giving this divinity. Why? Because if the entire life we live in a very spiritual way, we remain in a very conscious way, that everything we are getting, it is a blessing of Krishna, and blessing, and the arrangement, by the arrangement of Krishna, by the arrangement of Supreme Personality of Godhead, the we can the devotas are also pleased, and that from that we are getting everything. So everything becomes spiritualized. Our existence becomes spiritualized, our activity becomes spiritualized, our consciousness becomes spiritualized. So we are into material activity, we are in this material world, we have our family, we have to discharge our activity, but in a spiritual ambience, atmosphere is created. So that is what the ultimate object of Vedic culture and the yoga. So these things are defined in that. But in today's scenario, in modern day Kali Yuga scenario, all these things are lost. So now the only yoga is Hare Krishna Sankirtan yoga. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Only these things are there. So here this Adi Bhuta, constantly changing physical nature, which manifests six changes of body. So many things Krishna Prabhupada has explained. So you can read. These are the technical informations. Okay, and these have already been discussed. The various changes. This Adi Daiva means the various parts. Why the devatas are actually the universal form is there, and in that universal form, the demigods are different parts of of the Lord. The legs are the lower planets for the universal forms of the Lord. Head is the upper planets, eye is the sun and moon. So like that, everything is connected to Lord. And Odijog is a function of the super soul, is a witness of the activities, source of souls, various states of consciousness, and give individual soul the free independence. Evo states that Paramatma is not different from Supreme Lord Krishna himself. Here Krishna has used it Evo. So like that, Krishna is relating with him, the Paramatma is myself. So understand the function of all these manifestations of Supreme Person of God clearly. Only a pure Krishna conscious devotee can understand this. So this is how we have ended the first section about the technical terminologies and the significance of that. Okay, we understood. Now in the section 2, remembrance of Krishna at the time of death. This is a very important subject, because why it is so important? Because whatever we do, huh, in whatever the whatever we do means, first what we have started, Krishna has told about Tatsrinu. Okay, Krishna has told about Tatsrinu. Tatsrinu means you have to hear. Sravanam. Krishna started the seventh chapter with Sravanam. By Sravanam, you can know me. Okay. Now you have heard it. I have given various aspects of Bhakti Yoga in chapter 7. Krishna has given many things Krishna has given in chapter 7. Now what? Now what? Now one thing is after Sravanam, the Kirtanam is there. And after Kirtanam, the Smaranam should be there. Without the Smaranam, final result will not happen. What is the final result? Because ultimately we have to remember all the time Krishna. Because in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, there is a verse which is from Padma Puran actually. Madhya Lila chapter 22, 113. Smartabpo shatatang Vishnu Vismartabpo विस्मर्तप्पो न जातुचित् सर्वे विधि निषेध शूरतयो evo kinkara. So the translation is like that. Krishna is the origin of Lord Vishnu. He should always be remembered and never forgotten at any time. All the rules and prohibitions mentioned in the Shastras should be the servant of these two principles. Okay. So this is very important verse. So that means the smartabha shatata Vishnu, Vishmartabha na jatu. These are the two principles. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. So Krishna is telling now this 8.5. Antakale cha mameva sharana mukta kale varam japrayati samad bhavam jati nastatra samsara. Why always we have to remember Krishna? Why shatatang? Because we don't know when the death is coming. The death is inevitable, death is waiting. We don't know at what point of time. Parikshit Maharaj at least knew that within after 7 days the death is coming for him. But we don't know whether after 7 minutes or 7 seconds the death is coming upon us. We don't know. So that's why we need to always remember Krishna. Because whatever we are doing in our spiritual activity, Sarve Vidhi Nishedo, whatever rules and regulations are there, that is what? That is Sarva Vidhi Nishedo Shur Etoi Reva Kunkara. Etoi Reva Kinkara. Kinkara means the servant. All the rules and regulations. This you will get this verse in when you will study the nectar of devotion also. There also this verse will be there. This discussion will come. So this is very important to remember Krishna. So two principle we have to remember. Actually, Prabhupada during his giving his lecture on this particular verse and this purport, here Prabhupada has mostly in this purport, Prabhupada has mostly emphasized on chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra because that is the Juga Dharma. That is the Juga Dharma for remembering Krishna. So here, Chaitanya Charitamrita in the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given his Shikhastakam that how we need to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Prabhupada is explaining that thing, that how we should chant, so that our chanting we can incessantly chanting. We can incessantly chant Krishna's name. Sunadapi Shunicheno Tarorupi Shoishnuna Amaneno Manudeno Kirtaniya Sadahari. So we need to become humbler than the blade of the grass, and we need to be tolerant than the tree. So these two, and we have to give all respect to others, and we should not expect any respect for us. Even though these four principles has been given, and we every day we might be chanting this thing for many years, but how far we have actually understood at least one principle and actually have followed in our life. So that is the point. So this is one of the very easiest words to remember, but difficult words to follow. At least for me, I can tell these things. It's very difficult stage, and this is the stage when the Smaran will happen. Okay, the kirtan should be happen continuously, and then the Smaran will become natural thing. So from Sravanam to Kirtanam to Smaranam. So these are the stage: Sravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Vishnu. So these things has been mentioned. So Smaranam, one is chanting of the holy name of the Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. So this Smaranam is there. And another thing, Krishna Prabhupada has mentioned in various other lectures that another best way of Smaranam is doing regular deity worship. Regular deity worship is a very effective means to remember Krishna, particularly the form of Krishna. That is very effective method. So that's why Prabhupada has introduced given this morning program. This morning program is very important. And if we regularly do this morning program and start our day, throughout the day we can remember Krishna. And that principle that we will discuss now, that Ma Manushmara Jiddhaja, that principle we can apply actually. We can do our daily activities, but we can do it in a with the offering to Krishna, or even remembering Krishna. uh, so that thing will happen. But if we don't do it, then we may think that we are just practicing Krishna consciousness, but that practice may not be very steady and very absorbing. Anuchinta. It may be chinta. Sometimes we may think of Krishna, but anuchinta. Because we don't know. Sometimes we take it as a granted. No, I am not going to die now. I have so many times, so many years after that. I will become old. I will complete my this responsibility. I will make my son and daughter will grow up. I will give them marry. They will settle down, and then I will retire from my job, and then I will die. This is the normal thing. Yes. Mm, maybe for the devotees this may happen, for all the devotees, but we don't know. But this is not the case. We have a practical experience. Many devotees has passed away all of a sudden. So, and Krishna is giving this verse with this context that this material world uh, is very uncertain, it is very changing. This is the adi bhuta. Krishna has explained this material nature is always changing. So in this changing nature, anything can happen at any time, isn't it? So we are living in this changing world, always changing, ever changing world. So anything can happen. So that's why we have to always remember about Krishna. So if we remember Krishna, then we will get madbhava. This madbhava means attaining my nature. My nature means, what is Krishna's nature? Krishna's nature is transcendental nature. Here, Prabhupada is explaining anyone who quits his body in Krishna consciousness is at once transferred to the transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord. Supreme Lord is the purest of the pure. Therefore, anyone who is constantly Krishna conscious is always also the purest of the pure. The Smaranam is important. The remembrance of Krishna is not possible for the impure soul who has not practiced Krishna consciousness in the devotional service. Therefore, one should practice. This practice will come in the next verse. Yoga Abhyasa Yoga. Practice Krishna consciousness from the very beginning of life. Or the very beginning of life is Kaumaranga Charit Pragga Dharman Bhagavatan Niha. And the Bhagavatam Prahlad Maharaj was teaching to his class friends. Because class friends were eager to play during the tiffin time, during the lunch break. But Prahlad Maharaj at that time was taking Bhagavatam class during the lunch break, during the tiffin time. And he was giving these words to his friends. Because that is the point. From the very beginning we should, and that is the responsibility of the parents. We should give this opportunity. At least we should try to give. Because it's very difficult nowadays. So many things are happening in this modern world, but it is very difficult to give the children proper Krishna conscious education. So that is the point. So this is very important. Now the point is, we have already discussed about the karma. Karma is there. We are doing karma. But if the karma is not adhatma karma, if the karma is not akarma, then there is a possibility of transmigration to other soul, other form, other body. So that Krishna will now describe in the next verse. So here Krishna is described that how we can always come to the point of Kirtanya Sadahari. Because if we do Kirtan, we can remember Krishna always. So because in our case, you will learn in Upadeshamrita Smarana Dasha and the Sravana Dasha and then Smarana Dasha. So this Sravana Dasha is also very difficult, and then Smarana Dasha is also very difficult. But Prabhupada has given, by the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. By these, we can actually come to that difficult stage. We can come very easily. Okay, and always if we practice chanting Hare Krishna all the time, anytime we are walking, we are standing, waiting in the bus or auto, in the rickshaw, anywhere, we can in the mind and slowly we can softly chant. We can carry our beads and we can chant very easily. So, because we need to be prepared for the death all the time, because we don't know what will happen at any moment. So here Krishna is giving that the general principle of transmigration. Yam yam bha vishvarana bhavam tajjatante kalevaram tam tame vaiti kuntayo sada tad bhava bhavita. So tad bhava bhavita. This tad bhava bhavita means here yam yam bapi sharana bhavam tajjatante kalevaram tam tam eva takuntayo sada tad bhava. State of being. State of being. This state of being, what is very uh, deep word, state of being. In the state of being, the state of being, maybe the mind is there, what is the mental situation is there, uh, what activity I am always doing, uh, so many things are there in this mental state, in the state of being, bhava. So the process of changing one's nature at the critical moment of death is there explained. Person who at the end of the life quits his body thinking of Krishna as the transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord. But it is not true that a person who thinks of something other than Krishna is the same transcendental state. The same thing. That anything we can think and it will not, that we will get the transcendental nature. So this point we should note very carefully. How can one die in the proper state of mind? Let's see, he has given Maharaj Bharat, although a great personality, thought of a deer at the time at the end of his life. And so in the next life, he will transfer into the body of the deer. So this is the classical example of Bharat Maharaj, how he missed the transcendental destination due to his undue attachment to a deer. And we have seen how Ajamil has got the destination, even though he was wretched number one. So sometimes we get very inspired. Oh, Ajamil has made his life perfect just by at the time of death remembering Krishna. So it is great. Sometimes when we give Bhagavatam class somewhere or in open public place, they will become very interested. Oh, Ajamil place is very nice example. Throughout the life, I will do all sorts of nonsense, and at the time, I will remember Krishna. It is not so easy. It is not so easy. By practice, in the earlier purport also, Prabhupada has told that it is very, very difficult to remember Krishna. If we actually at the time of death, by our own endeavor, it is very difficult to remember Krishna. Very difficult to remember Krishna. In Ajamil case, it was a case, and Ajamil was actually not remembering Krishna. He was remembering his son, his oldest son, youngest son. He was remembering. Hmm. His name was Narayana. He has chanted his name Narayana, but various acharyas has given their purport, their explanation that actually he's calling his son Narayana before his death also, he got purified already, and that's why he has been given the benediction of remembering Krishna. He was protected by the Vishnu Dutas. So that means he has unknowingly practiced bhakti yoga, unknowingly practiced remembered Krishna, unknowingly practiced remembered Krishna, and become completely free from the sinful reaction. So that is the point that we can. The process is very simple. Process is not very difficult. Prabhupada is always saying, what is the difficult in remembering Krishna? Yeah, so in one sense it is very easy, but in another sense it needs carefulness. Carefully we need to chant, we need to practice, we need to follow the instruction of our spiritual master of Srila Prabhupada. We need to read, we need to understand, we need to deepen our absorption in Krishna. Then only we can remember Krishna. Otherwise, this mind is very flickering mind. Something, some thought, some sin, some scenery, some impression. So that's why if we need to deepen this Krishna conscious impression, Krishna should be remembered. So we need to do service. We need to do service, particularly deity worship. Deity worship is a very important thing. Deity worship and chanting this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, particularly all the five limbs. Particularly the five limbs has been described. Where we need to chant, we need to read Bhagavatam, we need to associate with the devotees, we need to go to the dhams, we need to do deity worship. So like these various limbs, there are 64 kinds of limbs are there. We need to water tulsi. There are many limbs has been described by Rupa Goswami in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. But among that, these five limbs are very, very important things, and among that, these two particular thing is very important: uh, deity worship and chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, uh, so that we can always remember Krishna, and we can we can avoid transmigration to any other material body, and we should always discharge akarma, not karma. Okay, so that's how we can uh, remember Krishna. We can stop, and then this is the practice. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara cha mayarpita mano buddhir mami vaishyashi asamsayo. So we have to give our mind. So we need not to stop our engagement. We have already discussed that Arjuna was also a military man. He was a grihastha. So household or military man. So we are also in household life many a times. We need to discharge many activities, but we should do it huh, with keeping our mind and intelligence. How we will keep it mind and intelligence? But if we don't do throughout the day anything, then we cannot remember. So we need to associate with the devotees for some time. We can call by mobile phone. We can read proper books. We can keep a sloka card in our pocket. Whatever the sloka now you need to remember, you can keep a sloka card every day, and throughout the day, whenever you get some spare time, you can take out the sloka card. You can keep in the mobile. While mobile, there are so many distractions can be there. So keep a sloka card, because when I was used to study Bhakti Shastri, I used to remember there is a sloka book was used to there. I used to always remember throughout the journey to my office and coming to my from the office. I remember verses. So by that I remember verses. So you can remember you can memorize the verses. That is very wonderful, because by chanting can be done with a very inattentively. Sometimes because chanting is very easy thing. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. We can do chanting by doing so many multitasking. But remembering sloka needs a real uh, energy, mental focus. We need to meditate on the we have to remember, recapitulate, recollect the verse and remember. So that is really a Krishna conscious way, and we should remember what message Krishna is giving. This is not only for passing the exam in the Bhakti Shastri, but to remember Krishna, to develop a habit of remembering Krishna. So that is very important, and that we can do by Ubhasha Yoga Jukteno Cheta Shauna Annugamina. So now I will come to that question. Non-Nugamina. Non-Nugamina means our, our mind should not go anywhere else without being deviated. Annugamina. Non-Nugamina. Yes. So while chanting, while discharging devotional service, particularly chanting, our mind roam around here and there. And many of you have told that this is offense. But actually this is not an offense. Okay, so this is actually not an offense. So why it is not an offense? It is not an offense because this is the nature of the mind. The mind will go here and there. But what is offense? If we don't endeavor to bring the mind back again in hearing the transcendental vibration, that is offense. Is that clear? Mind nature is always go here and there. Chanchala himana Krishna pramatha balavadrinam. It is the nature. Krishna accept when Arjuna says after hearing Dhyana Yoga chapter that Krishna, my mind is chanchala himana Krishna. So mind will go here and there by nature. So that is actually not an offense in one sense. But what is offense? What is pramada? Pramada means when we completely in forgetful situation that now I am here, I have started chanting. This is my chanting session. Now I should hear the Maha Mantra properly. I should hear Bhagavatam properly. I should hear the class properly. This is what I am meant to do now. If I ask you everyone, no need to say me, you can write down in your notebook. Actually, just now, what are you thinking? Exactly what is going on in your mind. Because what is happening, we may be physically in one place, in one thing we are doing, but at the back of the mind, so many things are going on. Isn't it? Sometimes today I was reading one very beautiful poster, very beautiful post by Gaurang Prabhu. He was telling about Jukta Hara Viharasya Jukta Chestasya Karmasya, that verse, that work-life balance. So mind is like that. So Krishna has not given any balance. Krishna has said Jukta. Jukta Hara, Jukta Vihara, Jukta Chestasya, Jukta Shapna. Jukta means when you are doing something, do it in a proper way. That is the balance. Sleep for 6 hours, work for 8 hours, you eat your food at particular time, go to bed particular time. So then everything is balanced. But what we are doing? While eating, we are thinking something else. While sleeping, we are thinking about our professional life, our family life. When with our family, we are taking various calls. So like that, everything is getting disturbed. So point is, do one thing at a time. So that is the point. We need to focus one thing at a time. So when we are chanting, chant while chant. When you are reading, only reading, nothing else. No phone calls, nothing. When you are calling to phone, attending phone, only that. Not that I am chanting and scrolling various things. No. So that is the point. So non-nagamina means always think Krishna. So our activity, our everything should be focused to Krishna. Everything, whatever we are doing, our some connection should be there with Krishna. So that is called non-nagamina. So I think you have understood now what actually mean by non-nagamina, because that's why Krishna is telling that mind will go here and there, but bring it back. So this is the practice we have to do in Bhakti Yoga practice at the initial stage of our sadhana bhakti. This is the practice. This practice will make us perfect. By practicing, one day we will be perfect. Our life. So here also Krishna Prabhupada is telling that the devotee can constantly think of the object of worship, the Supreme Lord, in any of his features, Narayana, Krishna and Rama. So by chanting Hare Krishna. So chanting Hare Krishna, how we can remember Narayana, Rama. So it is there actually. This is the general principle that by chanting Hare Krishna, you are remembering something. Remembering Krishna. Krishna means Vishnu Tattva, any Vishnu Tattva form, whatever. So now we are not at the stage of a Nitya Siddha stage that we know that yes, we might be in the Brahma, in the Vaikuntha world, in our Sharupa. We were in the Goloka platform, Goloka Vrindavan in Dwarka. We are, or in Ajodhya. So some person may be born in Ajodhya. So he may be thinking that I am a devotee of Rama. Maybe he maybe remembrance of Rama may be very easy for him. A person born in Mathura, he can remember Krishna very easily. So a person born in Badrinath, he can remember Narayana very easily. So that is there, but that is a material situation which is helping him to remember Krishna. Cultural atmosphere he is getting to remember Krishna, but that cultural or material situation may not be in line with always with his spiritual nature. May not. But a general principle is that in Kali Yuga, the Tarak Brahma mantra is Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said that this is the mantra we need to chant to revive our Krishna consciousness, revive our lost relationship with Krishna. So that we need to revive in this way. So that is how we should practice. This is the practice we have to do always. And then we can remember Krishna throughout at the time of death. And Krishna, and here Prabhupada has given a very wonderful verse, wonderful example. The mind is fickle, and therefore it is necessary to engage the mind by force to think Krishna. This is very important. So that's why I was telling we have to force to think Krishna. Force. So at our stage, when we are practicing Abhyasa Yoga, Sadhana Bhakti, we have to force the mind. We have to bring it back. Why the force is required? Because our natural tendency is to forget Krishna. Our natural tendency is to think Krishnetar Vishaya, Krishnetar subject matter, something other than Krishna. So we have to force ourselves. That force need association. So that's why we need to be always in the association of devotees. Sadhu Sangha Harinam. It's a very important thing. I explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So if many devotees come together and chant, then by seeing other devotees chanting nicely, we will also start chanting nicely. Okay, and we can always, and by associating with devotees while chanting, we will understand, we will force to think that now my only duty is to chant, because everyone is chanting now. But if I chant alone, I may forget that this is the only thing I should do now. So that force should be there. So in Kali Yuga, the force will come, the energy will come from Shanga Shakti. Sangha Shakti is there. Otherwise, it is very difficult, very, very difficult. And we need to pray, and we need to bring back the mind always. So please try it tomorrow, huh? Every day. It is not that I have perfected this thing by telling I am also telling myself this is a practice we have to do. We are practicing devotee. We are not yet fixed up devotee. At least for me myself, I can say. So this is the practice we have to do, and this practice is actually our preparation for our final examination of death. Prayana kale. We need to remember. Antakale chamame vo sharanam kale. This Maran stage will come if we practice diligently. Krishna will help us remember Krishna, remember Him at the time of death. So here we ended that second section, remembering Krishna. So now this Yogamishra Bhakti. Now this Yogamishra Bhakti section, we need not to discuss much about it. Only thing we need to discuss that this is a process where the by yogic process, here the more the practitioner is more depending on the process. Short chakra yoga is there. So here particularly this particular verse is for both Ashtanga Yogi and Bhakti Yogi. Here we can remember the various qualities of Krishna, qualities of Supreme Absolute Truth. He is Kavi. He is Kavi means he knows everything. He is Puranam. He is oldest. But he is Puranam, but that does not mean he is Jara. Normally, someone is very old means he is Jara, but he is not Jara. He is always Navajovana Sampanna. Anushasitaram, he is the controller. Normally, in the oldest means actually, what is the meaning? Oldest means someone who is very experienced. Sometimes we say that this doctor is having 30 years of experience. So he is very experienced doctor. We can rely him for any when a difficult disease. He can cure us because he has very good experience. He is very wisdom. So wisdom is sometimes correlated with the age. Someone is very old. So that's why he's telling that here Krishna is saying oldest, Puranam. I am the oldest. I have seen everything. I know everything. Kavim. I know. Kavim means one who knows present, past, present, and future. He is Kavim. So Krishna knows everything. And this will actually make us humble that, oh, Krishna knows everything. Krishna knows whatever thought I have, what was there in my mind. Whenever I was thinking anything, Krishna has already known. So I think by that, but then also Krishna is helping me. How many bad thoughts I have thought about many things. What type of lusty thought might be there in my mind. But Krishna knows everything. But then also Krishna is facilitating. Krishna is giving devotee association. Krishna is giving so many services. So that is how we should be so much grateful to Krishna. Oh Krishna, you know me. Krishna knows. And that's why when we offer lamb to Krishna during Damodar, I sometimes think that, see, Krishna is thinking that this particular living entity has done so many sinful activity maybe in his past life. Krishna knows everything. But when someone comes in front of Krishna during Damodar month and offer a lamb, how much Krishna loves him, how much Krishna becomes happy that this particular living entity, I know him for many lifetimes, from millions of lifetimes. We have understood that thing. This Baddha Dasha is Nitya Baddha. We are Nitya Baddha, eternally conditioned. So we don't know since time immemorial we were Baddha, and in that Baddha Dasha, in that Baddha conditioned state, we have done so abominable things. And Krishna knows each and everything about each and every living entity. Everything he knows. That's why he is Supreme Personality of Godhead. But after that, when we offer a lamb, when we offer a tulasi leaves, when we take his name, how much Krishna loves. So if we think in that way, our heart should melt, and then we can understand that Krishna is waiting for this moment, and we should not deprive Krishna anymore, any another lifetime. We should try our level best to perfect our devotional service to Krishna in this life and go back to Him. So we should think Krishna's transcendental qualities. So here Prabhupada has described what does it mean, and these transcendental qualities